I wanna grab a frying pan and lay you out on the floor. That filth you talk, that stench just flies out of you. I should have listened, yeah, I should have. When you said you loved me, I should have picked up and ran. Grabbed my unicycle and rode to Japan. Hang out with some geisha girls, sing karaoke and get a tattoo. Do everyone and everything to forget about you. Yeah.
Hey, how are things going today? As you can hear, it is raining here, which is nice because we really desperately needed some rain. And right out the front door here, you can hear the raindrops. Sounds nice, no? Yeah, I'm coming to you live from inside an old barn which was built in 1881. I am located in a section of the barn which at one point had been turned into a small apartment, and we had gave this apartment to migrant workers. Usually they're from Romania or Poland, who come here and work out in the fields during the season. Because of the actions of the government here, a lot of these migrant workers were not allowed to come into the country. And so a lot of the produce has been left rotting in the fields. I know this is a big issue. We usually don't really think too much about it, but a lot of the farmers here and across the world sell their produce to restaurants. Yeah. And now that the restaurants are closed, they have no place to sell them. Some of the farmers have been packaging up what they can and sending them off for free, but that's a cost to the farmer. And some states, some countries are starting to lighten up their stay-at-home rules. Some are allowing certain businesses to open, and in some Nordic countries, schools are back open. What the hell? We're going to open them up. Here over the weekend, there was a large protest I think 10,000 people were there, something like that, against the lockdowns. And you would think that if any country would get it, it would be Germany, because they have lived through this sort of dictatorship rule and draconic rules. But, as I said in the past, Germans are, they follow orders. But as there were some people out there protesting. So that's whether you agree with it or not, that's a good sign. Yeah, that's a good sign that people were protesting. I took a quick look at some headlines this morning. I had a really rough night. Oh my God. Told you yesterday I was out walking with my dog and just got a new dog recently. Pretty large dog. And somebody left the door open to the cabinet. It's a very tall cabinet, yeah. And the dog food is in there. And we had ordered this one special dog food, which apparently is supposed to be good for his digestive tract. Though after we fed it to him for a little bit, we realized this is not good for him. Well, as I said, someone left that door open. He got in there at some point yesterday and frickin' almost ate the whole goddamn bag. He doesn't know when to stop. And so all night, he was up, I had to take him out. He was up, had to take him out. Like 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Finally got he finally released all of this. Just like a fire hose. And then after that, it was okay. But it was a rough night. I didn't get much sleep. But I jumped on the internet first thing this morning and took a look at some of the stories making headlines. One big one is Elon Musk, yeah, and Tesla, that he's threatening to move Tesla's headquarters out of California following extended shelter-in-place rules. Apparently, he wanted to open back up, bring his workers back in, but he wasn't allowed to. And now he's throwing his weight around. Money talks. Tesla filed suit Saturday night against Alameda County, California, after local officials there refused to let the company reopen its Fremont factory. They refused to let the company open. What else do you need to know? It's not like the company is in there creating weapons of destruction. It's not like they're in there creating viruses that they intend to release on the public. I'm not saying that's what happened, but you never know. They're designing cars. And California, being very liberal, you would think that, he's designing energy-efficient automobiles that don't need fossil fuels. But what else do you need to know? I mean, that should be it right there. Local officials refuse to let the company reopen its doors. That is dictatorship. In a series of tweets early Saturday, Tesla CEO Elon Musk also threatened to move the company's headquarters to Texas or Nevada, where shelter-in-place rules are less restrictive. Frankly, this is the final straw. Tesla will now move its HQ to future programs to Texas, Nevada immediately, Musk tweeted. He did not respond for comments on his tweet, apparently. This lawsuit follows months of Musk tweeting debunked and controversial coronavirus claims and rallying against stay-at-home orders, often contrary to health officials' guidance. Debunked and controversial coronavirus claims. Anything that you say that goes against the mainstream media is going to be controversial, no? Anything you say will be controversial. Debunked? I don't know how these were debunked. We don't have all the facts in. I think CNN is taking some liberties here. The automaker had planned to allow a fraction of its factory workers to return to work by Friday, but was warned by the Alameda County Health Department in a live stream town hall on Friday that such a move will be violating the country's rules. Let's see here. Tesla, Elon Musk had a tweet here. Tesla is filing a lawsuit against Alameda County immediately. The unelected and ignorant interim health officer of Alameda is acting contrary to the governor, the president, our constitutional freedoms, and just plain common sense. Okay. That's another tweet. The same thing. I'm going to move. We're going to move. I also heard that he was ready to unveil some major new battery. Is there anything about here? Tesla has a battery factory called Gigafactory 1 in Sparks, Nevada, but it has no footprint in Texas. In February, Musk took a Twitter poll asking his followers if there should be a Gigafactory in Texas. The results were 80% positive. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, what else can we really say about this story? Of course, here we go. Republican Senator Ted Cruz, who's a whack job, said, come to Texas. We would welcome Tesla. Of course you would. You get the taxes. But what else do you really need to know? I mean, the first sentence says it all. Local officials refused the company to open their doors. Black and white. Plain and simple. This is an action of a police state. This is an action of a Nazi Germany or a Stalin Russia. That's exactly what this is. If people want to go to work, they should be allowed to go to work. If they understand the dangers and the conditions of said work, and they still go there, well, it's up to them. Freedom is a messy thing. Yeah? And the government is not there to hold our hand. But like I said in my last episode, we have allowed them to become our parents. We have allowed them to think for us. So, that's my topic on that. But that is one hell of an ugly car, no? I mean, what do you think? Is that an ugly car or is that a nice looking car? What's your opinion on that? I think it's pretty goddamn ugly. I know some people who say, oh, that's cool, man. I don't know. The Tesla truck is pretty, not too cute. In other stories here, Belgium. How nice. Now, yesterday was Mother's Day. Did you do anything for your mother? Do you still have a mother? Do you speak to her? Did you bring her flowers? Did you do something for her? In time for Mother's Day, Belgium will allow up to 4 guests at home. Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, it's like the slave owner, it's like, wow, thank you so much for leaving me one arm and only taking the other one. I mean, we're giving gratitude. The game some people have been playing on social media, choosing who they'd want to be quarantined with, have become real life in Belgium. I wonder if they're talking about the Bruce Willis, Demi Moore kind of thing here. I've seen stories about that. Under strict lockdown since March 16th, including home confinement except for essential journeys, Belgium's controls have been some of the tightest in Europe. But it's worked. After hitting one of the highest death rates in the world, the nation's infection rate and death toll have dropped steadily since a peak in early April. The decline led Prime Minister Sophie Williams to announce this past week that along with letting all stores reopen on May 11th, certain social distancing guidelines will be relaxed. Beginning on Sunday for Mother's Day, Wilm said that each household will be allowed to host up to 4 other people, preferably all within the same family, as long as social distancing is maintained. Are they going to go door to door? Are they going to go door to door and count the people in your house? Are they going to be there with tape rulers, tape measures, to find out exactly how far these people are apart? This is, of course, choosing can be a delicate process. No one wants to hurt the feelings of a friend or a relative if they don't make the cut. Sorry, Mom. Got to go to my girlfriend's mom's house this year for, Mother's Day. Can't come to your place. Yeah, didn't really care for you too much anyway. What do you think about it? Should we be thankful? Should these people be thankful that their government has allowed them to have 4 people in the same household? I don't think so. They should be pissed off. Let's see. I found another. Oh, this is pretty crazy. A couple days ago, I talked about the 3 Russian doctors who mysteriously fell out of hospital windows. Well, here we have a COVID-19 patient jumps out of an Indian hospital window to escape. This is a moment a suspected COVID-19 patient attempted to escape from a Muwambi hospital by jumping from the window. CCTV footage from Sion Hospital shows the unidentified man fleeing the ward and jumping out of a window on the ground floor of the hospital on May 3rd. The hospital staff pursued him. They were unable to stop him, but a security guard was able to, catch up with him and bring him back to the hospital. As I said before, do these doctors know something that they're not telling us? Is this some kind of mutative, catastrophic virus that turns people into flesh-eating monsters? But they don't want to, rile up the public, so they kind of keep that down. Maybe this guy had a whiff of that, and once he found out that he had the coronavirus, he's not going to stay in the hospital. I mean, because that's one thing. I mean, well, that's not really true. I mean, a lot of people recover from this, so I'm not sure if that's really accurate or not. But if you'd like, you want to see a guy jump out a window? Here you go. Oh, there he goes. Oh, there he goes. Oh. There he went. Jumped out the window. People are looking out the window for him. Oh, it's all right. We'll get him. He probably broke something. Can't get too far. God damn it. Lost another one. What are we going to do? I don't know. I guess we can, take time for a break here. Well, what is that? I think he left something out there. I think he landed on something. Who knows? Well, now we got to make another bed for another patient. God damn it. I was going to go on my break, and now we got to deal with this shit. Yeah. So, guy jumps out a window after he found out he's been tested positive for COVID-19. Interesting. Here is the story. Riot police clash with hundreds of protesters in Berlin chanting freedom in demonstration against the coronavirus restrictions as German death toll rises by 147 to 7,369. Mobs flocked Alexanderplatz in Berlin to protest the government's lockdown. Thousands descended on Munich and Stuttgart for peaceful demonstrations. Germany eased measures last week. This is bullshit. We have not eased measures last week. My internet connection is really not too great. I'm dropping some frame rates here. Yeah, it's probably the weather. Across the country, 1,251 cases were reported yesterday with 147 new deaths. Riot police clashed with hundreds of protests in Berlin yesterday during a demonstration against coronavirus lockdown in Germany. Despite the central government easing lockdown on Wednesday, infected cases have begun to rise in Germany again, with some states saying they will not lift measures if the numbers continue to spike. This is something I'm a bit confused about. From the information that I've got and from the information that I've heard, which is probably the same information that you've heard, isn't it like a 2-week incubation period that you could have this thing for like 2 weeks and then it rears its ugly head? And it's sometimes a week or so, sometimes sooner, sometimes later. But they're saying that on Wednesday, this is what they're saying, on Wednesday they eased up the cases and all of a sudden there was a spike in cases. I don't think the two correlate with each other. Yeah? Maybe these people had it a long time ago. And if they're just now showing it, that means 2 weeks ago they were infected by it. And now it's not showing it. It doesn't mean they were infected by it the minute the restrictions were lifted. Right? I mean, am I wrong here? I don't think I am. But like I said, we have so many different stories about, what is right, what is wrong, how this thing functions and how it doesn't. It's really confusing. So we got pepper spray going on here. Wow, look at this picture. You can see all the demonstrators, but they're all spaced out fairly well. Yeah? Some arrests were made, of course. And but as I keep saying, this is going to continue again and again and again and again and again. There's a small video here that we'll take a look at. Perhaps if it loads. I'm not sure if it's in German or not. But it looks like it's not going to load. Like I said, my internet is really slow. Now I'm dropping 36%. Got no audio here? Huh, got no audio here. I wonder why. Should have audio. Well, this looks like could be Berlin, but I'm not sure. I mean, I've been there, but I haven't been to every nook and cranny. Could be just about any city, chanting, some people screaming at the police. And that's one thing that people do here. They scream at cops quite often because they're not really too afraid to get shot. Unlike, in the U.S., you could pretty much mouth off as much as you want. Well, okay, so we don't have much going on here. That is in Berlin. And that was Labor Day protest, so it was a bit different. So that is another thing going on, protests. And, of course, like I said, they're going to spread and spread and spread. Another story I have here, just a really quick thing here. And now my internet froze. Oh, boy. Let's see if I can load this back up again. So how was your weekend? Did you have a good weekend? Here we go. Virginia governor makes it a criminal offense punishable by jail to go to attend church services of more than 10 people. Ralph Northam has officially... Where the fuck did it go? Where did it go? Okay. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam has made it a criminal offense to attend church services of more than 10 people. The governor's executive order went into effect in the Commonwealth on Tuesday, March 23rd, making any non-essential gatherings a misdemeanor punishable up to a year in jail or a fine of $2,500. The area in which you live, do you have a document that you have to carry with you that says your trip is essential or necessary? Just curious. Ralph Norton just officially closed Virginia churches and made it a crime punishable up to 12 months in jail and or a $2,500 fine. This is anti-American. A governor can't punish someone for attending church. What happened to the First Amendment? Where is the outrage? And this was tweeted by Charlie Kirk. Executive Order 53 states all gatherings of more than 10 people are banned statewide, beginning at 11:59 p.m. Now, in order for him to do something like that, doesn't he have to declare a state of emergency? Is Virginia in a state of emergency at this time? In order for him to make laws like that, is Virginia in a state of emergency? Let's find out. Is Virginia? Yes, Governor Northam declares state of emergency. Once he does that, boy, he has so much power, it's not even funny. That's why a lot of people are very wary when they call, when states call states of emergency. But this Charlie Kirk is right. It's not just anti-American, it's just anti-freedom, period. Yeah, where is the outrage? Yeah, people should be outraged here. This does not include gatherings that involve the provision of healthcare or medical service, access to essential services for low-income residents, such as food banks, operations of the media, law enforcement agencies, or operations of government. The executive order expires 11:59 p.m. on April 23rd and is subject to change at any time. Oh, April 23rd. Aren't we in May? When the hell is this story? This is an old story, no? Oh, fuck, March 26th. This is an old story. I guess I should have looked at that a little bit more carefully. Sorry about that. But I think the sentiment is there that these governors, and this is something that we have to be really careful about. These rules are not handed down by the President of the United States. Not like I support the President of the United States. Again, I do not support any politician whatsoever. But these draconic rules are not handed down by the president. Yeah, these rules are handed down by governors. I wonder how many of these governors are Democrat and how many are Republican. That would be interesting to find out. Yeah, I bet you most of these are going to be Democrat. Probably because they go against what Donald Trump wants, which is apparently he wants to open up the country again. He wants these businesses to open. And so they will do anything and everything opposite of what he says or claims should be the proper course of action. So the other story I have here is a gunman, 29, found dead after killing man, 86, and his wife, 85, at Delaware Veterans Cemetery. Well, they probably didn't have a essential reason to be out. And this gunman, 29, was probably, doing his civil duty by enforcing these laws. He was going to perhaps make a citizen's arrest. Yeah. And so he shot the couple. Of course, I'm making this up. But am I so far off from the truth? Yeah. I mean, we already have, neighbors turning against neighbors, people calling in a suspected person who was breaking these distancing rules or gathering rules. I mean, how could you close down a church? How could you close down a church? I mean, how could you close down a private business? I mean, before this COVID thing, oh my God, 61% over the last 2 minutes. Skip frames detected, 61%. Okay, listen, my sole supportive viewer here. I think I'm gonna have to cut this short because my internet is just really bad right now. Living way out here in the country and dealing with wireless internet and bad weather. Those three don't equal up to be a good experience. But I will leave you with this one thing. Last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, the thought of allowing the government the power to force businesses to close their doors was unheard of. It would have been called communistic. It would have been called anti-American, which it is. And we are at the threshold of a totally changing government role. And it seems like the majority of the people out there are accepting it. This will change the face of America. And I'm not sure if it will ever get back to where it used to be. I'm going to come on later tonight, and hopefully we can get some people talking. So, Mr. Soul, viewer, supporter. Oh, man. Right on. Good deal. So, I'll talk to you later. Ciao.
Every time I see you walking out my door,
But you also have to sleep, especially.
I wanna grab a frying pan and lay you out on the floor. That filth you talk, that stench just flies out of you. I should have listened, yeah, I should have. When you said you loved me, I should have picked up and ran. Grabbed my unicycle and rode to Japan. Hang out with some geisha girls, sing karaoke and get a